کاوش مدیا.
The New York Times describes him as, quote, the force behind Iran's nuclear weapons program. Is that accurate?
He is, first and foremost, understand that he's a child of the revolution. He was a teenager in 1979, and he joined the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Command and participated in the revolution. But he's also an academic, and he went on to get his PhD in a nuclear field, and is a renowned academic. Sometime around 1998, he took over a procurement activity that's been ongoing since 1993 on behalf of Shahid University, which was seeking to get a bench-scale centrifuge operation up and running for research and development. That means a single centrifuge, operating so that people could understand centrifuge dynamics. Europe and the United States were opposed to this. Much of the procurement activity had to become covert in nature, and the university simply wasn't up to the task. Fakhrizadeh took over this program in 1998, and from 1998 to 2003, was the mastermind behind Iran's covert procurement activities that allowed it to acquire the technology necessary to build the Natanz uranium enrichment plant and to produce the IR-1 centrifuges that are the centerpiece of this enrichment plant. But this is it. This is the extent of his activity in the nuclear field. He's not a weapons designer. He isn't the Robert Oppenheimer of the Iranian program. He's the man who jump-started their program in terms of the procurement of this material. But there were other scientists that actually assembled it, put the centrifuge cascades together, built and designed Natanz, Fordo, and the other activities. Iran is not a nation that's dependent upon any single person, especially not Fakhrizadeh. He's well regarded. He's a hero in the eyes of the Iranians, but his assassination, while tragic for his family, for Iran, does not set back the Iranian program whatsoever.
But just to be clear, when the New York Times presumes that there is a Iranian nuclear weapons program, is that accurate?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we know it's not. Even in the lead up to the 2015 JCPOA, the United States and Israel were disseminating intelligence that suggested a program, but there was no physical evidence. There was no proof, no smoking gun. It was documents in the form of forged documents, documents coming from a laptop of questionable provenance, and just speculation on the part of the CIA and Israeli intelligence about the fact that since Iran is seeking to procure uranium enrichment capability covertly, therefore it must be that 2 + 2 = 4. Covert procurement equals a covert military program with no evidence that such a military program existed. Listen to what Joe Biden's been saying. That's what he wants. Even though he says he wants to rejoin the JCPOA, he says that's only as the first step towards a new round of negotiations, which would put further constraints on Iran's nuclear program, up to and including the elimination of Iran's indigenous uranium enrichment capacity.
And do you think Iran would ever agree to that?
No, Iran's made it clear. Look, if Iran was going to agree to that, they would have agreed to it a long time ago, back in the early 2000s. But Iran stood firm for close to 13 years, from 2002 to 2015, withstanding all the sanctions that could be thrown at it, willing to go to war to defend their right of uranium enrichment, because Iran's not joking when they say their economic future is dependent upon getting a indigenous nuclear power capacity installed that frees up oil so it can be exported to generate income necessary to keep the Iranian economy growing. That's why the Shah wanted nuclear energy back in the 1970s, and that's why the Islamic Republic decided that it needed to re-embrace nuclear power in the 1990s.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند